We are officially 1 week away from the start of, you guessed it, Damian Woody, Cowboys training camp. After an offseason full of trades, the Cowboys look to rebound from a disappointing finish last year. Dallas finished third in the NFC East and missed the playoffs for the first time in 4 years. In the offseason, Dallas traded for George Pickens and hired Brian Schottenheimer as head coach. Damian, you have high hope. What? 1 second. Let's check out this offense.
You have a healthy Dak Prescott playing a full slate of games with the weapons that they have on offense.
There you go.
Dallas should be, in my opinion, a top 5 offense in the National Football League. Obviously, with the acquisition of George Pickens. Mike T touched upon it, the offensive line, 3 first-rounders. They should be much improved.
How you feeling about that sound?
I stand by it.
Okay,
Look at what is up with Dan Orlovsky?
Yep, I see it.
He's praying?
Explain that prayer, Dan.
Top 5 in the NFL?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They're not going to be top 5 in the conference, let alone the NFL.
Here we go.
It's closer than you think.
Haterade.
Before last season, in points, first in 2023, fourth, first year before that.
Okay.
So there are 3 straight years of top 5 with Dak Prescott at the helm. I understand.
Top 5 in the league.
Top 5 in the league.
But they're going to be better than Philly on offense?
No, I'm just saying it's not.
They're going to be better than Minnesota on offense? They're going to be better than the Rams on offense? They're going to be better than the Packers on offense? They're going to be better than the Bucs on offense?
I think you're getting into teams where they might be better than.
Yeah.
Who? I think the Cowboys. First of all, the Cowboys are going to finish third in the division. This is not a pro Cowboys take from me. Okay,
what a freaking idiot.
The offense and Dak. I think you look at the numbers. Whenever he comes off an injury, he kind of goes scorched earth a little bit.
Top 10,
Okay,
top 12.
I'm getting copywritten for the
you're
video,
like
so
7th. I think you're looking at
the
7th,
stream
third
may
best
cut
place
off.
in the division.
I still stand by it.
Why?
That means you're telling me that you think they're going to be better than like the Bucs and the Rams offensively.
Here's what I would say. I think.
I got to get this in. I got to get this in. Don't cut it. Please don't cut it, YouTube.
Dallas traditionally has been like one of the best offenses in the league. There's no question about that. I think a lot is predicated on Dallas Cowboys offensive line. I think that if the Dallas Cowboys offensive line, which is heavily invested in as far as draft capital, those guys come together, there's no question in my mind that the Dallas Cowboys would be a top 5 with the weapons that they have. Wide receiver, tight end, they got it. It's
Brother,
there.
I love you, dude. I
love you, dude.
Agree.
I love you, dude.
I have been on I think the Cowboys will be better than people expect train this year. But you're sitting here telling me that you think if that all comes together, they'll be better than Philly. Maybe not. So let's say
top 5. Okay, so Philly could possibly be better, but Philly doesn't necessarily score a whole lot of points.
Let's start with Philadelphia.
New offensive coordinator.
He's been there.
Yeah.
But new play caller.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we sure that the train is just going to keep rolling in Philadelphia? Just this elite offense. Yes. Are we sure about that?
Okay.
Are we sure, Dan?
The last time we had the offensive change.
Yeah.
With Jalen Hurts, didn't work out so well, did it?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
But I'm putting Philly in there as a top 5. So I'm saying Philly, Baltimore, Buffalo, Cincy. Like that's my top 4 probably right there. And then we're getting into a conversation of Washington, Kansas City. You're not going to be a top 5 offense.
Dallas is going to be right there.
Okay. Let me go.
Okay. Haterade.
Detroit. Number 1 in the league last year, new play caller, 33 points per game. Buffalo, number 2, they'll stay there. Baltimore, number 3, they'll stay there. Tampa Bay, new play caller. They were number 4 in the league. Washington, number 5. Okay, Cincinnati, Philadelphia, Green Bay, right after that. I think you're looking at Dallas in that range, in the 27 points per game with Philly, with Green Bay. Minnesota was around there. I think you're looking at more of that.
We've seen this team 31 points a game. Okay.
You think that that Dallas will score 28 a game this year?
Yeah, that would put them 7th, 8th, something like that, around there with Philly.
Listen, if the Cowboys have a top...
I'm going to go ahead and end it right there. Well, hello, good people. And Eagle and 49er fans, Mark Holmes here. And as always, I want to say thank you for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. I got my man Joe Boo as well as... Bucky Beaver in the house. Yeah, Bucky is kind of taking over for the chicken who's holding it down. at the Man Cave here. Let me say shout out to all the lovely ladies. We must be getting close to football season because the ladies are coming back. Because I see Joanne Gonzalez. What's up, JoJo? Vince P over there. Oh my goodness. So we got top fans. Joanne. Oh, they added it to that channel. We got Lady Libra double dipping. Shout out to Lady Libra in the house. And of course, Holly Pierce, you are literally the update lady here. Appreciate you, Holly. We got Gina Dallas Diva. I bet she's driving right now. Did I get everybody? I see Jeff Lee is in the leader. He's leading. Jeff Lee gets in here and he starts hitting that mother humper because he's like, I gotta win. Supreme King's in here. J Smooth. Okay. Oh, I love me some Joy Taylor. Not really. Nope, not at all. Mean Metal Mike is in here. Papa Salvage. Lovely Linda. What's up, Linda? Let's see. Who else? Did I get all the ladies? We got Dan 1965. I think we got did we get everybody? Dirty Sanchez getting nasty up in here. Logan Motorsports in the house. JD 1965 is in second place right now. Okay, so let me going back to Holly Pierce. Holly Pierce let me know that some changes are afoot at FX1. They've decided that they got a bunch of shows they can live without. The faculty or the facility or what, I don't even know what the name is. I honestly can say I have actually never turned on the television and sat down and watched the facility. Okay, not once. I've seen clips of it on Twitter or on YouTube, but I've actually never sat down and watched the show. Speak. I don't even know what time Speak comes on. Do you know what time Speak? Oh, I'm sorry. Used to come on. I know the Cow Turd comes on at 12. The faculty came on at 10. Is it 10? And then I think Speak came on something like 3:30 or 4:30. And yeah. And see, here's the reason. The reason why they offed all those people is because of you. It's because of you. YouTube, right now, as we sit here today, 12% of all media is consumed right here on YouTube. That is a fact. That is more than any other platform out there. Any television networks, cable, whatever, Disney, Fox, you name it. YouTube is the most watched thing. And see, here's the thing about it. Nobody wants to sit there for 2 hours or twice a day, 4 hours, watching Shady McCoy. Who? Dirty Sanchez, don't call it Speak no more. Call it silence. There you go. Oh, shit. I love that. Shout out to Dirty Sanchez with the super chat. Yeah. Nobody sits there and watches the shows for 2 hours because everything now is catered to you. I don't know if you've noticed this. Your phones are listening to you. Be careful. I can start talking about I'll say, a barn dominium. Say, I'm thinking about getting a barn dominium put up. I bet you my life against a handful of caca that tonight on Facebook, I will be seeing advertisements for barn dominiums. Because my phone, just like Alexa, is sitting there listening to you, and I don't know what the Google thing is, Jeeves or whatever. They're listening to you, they're taking notes, and they are catering everything to you. The problem for the shows is they are trying to cater to everything. And you, as the consumers, you ain't got time for that. You want to go ahead and get your Dallas Cowboys news. You want to get in, get that, and then get on to some cats that are looking all cute or crazy or jump, that jumped on some tinfoil, and that's what you want to do. You don't want to sit there and listening to these idiots like Shady McCoy. He's ass for 2 hours talking about things that aren't relative to you. If you're an Eagle fan, you enjoy him talking about bad about the Cowboys, but the rest of the mindless minutia, it's crazy. And so it seems like all of the people they got rid of are all Dak haters, because it seems like all they had was just talking bad about the Cowboys. That's it. That's the whole show. Shady McCoy made his career on one sentence. Dak Prescott is ass. That's it. Seriously. None of his takes were ever worth a damn. His opinion. You could tell this fool did not do his homework. This fool showed up at training camp because he got called out. He literally showed up before practice and didn't stay to actually watch practice and said, Tony Pollard looked good. And Tony Pollard wasn't even there. He was absent that day. And this idiot said, well, Tony, I tell you what, he is Jamarcus Russell. Son of John, what's up, Son of John? Get rid of DC Dak haters. Yeah, let's go, DC Dak trolls. They only want to spew hate. You're right about that. They got rid of a whole boatload of them. But here's the thing. One of the biggest busts in the NFL, Jamarcus Russell, okay? Raiders drafted him number 1, right? They gave him a DVD, and they said, here, we want you to look at this DVD over the weekend and tell us what plays on there that you like. Okay, coach, yeah, no problem. Takes the DVD home with them, right? Comes back Monday. Coach says, hey, what you think about the plays? Oh, hey, man, the plays are good. The plays are good, man. He said, well, which ones did you like? Coach, man, I like them all. I love them all, coach. The DVD was blank. They wanted to see if he actually was going to watch the DVD. He didn't look at it. He didn't plug it in and look at it and see any of the plays. And that's Shady McCoy. Shady McCoy shows up for Cowboys practice, gets his photo shoot on. Yeah, I'm here at Cowboys practice. Doesn't watch it, and then tells you, Tony Pollard, man, he looked real good. He wasn't there today. Shady? He wasn't there. What do you mean he looked good? Well, what are you talking about? You're a freaking idiot. That's one guy that I'm happy is on the unemployment line. And here was his comments. Okay, listen. You gotta love this. Damn. Fired on my off day. Well, put me on the trading block. A whole bunch of smiley faces. Speak in faculty, or whatever it is, was a blast. I got announcements coming soon. One thing I do know from football is talent and dedication always wins. See you soon. I hope we don't see you soon, Shady. I hope we don't see you soon. We've had enough. We've been blessed with you for a couple of years. You're out the door. The funniest part on this is Joy, who was trying to clean her shit up. Okay? She was trying to, if you notice what Joy was doing, she became the anti-Dak hater. I think. No. If she was anti, then she would be a Dak. She was the anti-Dak hater. She became that. Because literally, she was kind of like, well, what are we talking about here with Dak Prescott here? Dak Prescott, he was a runner-up MVP. Dak Prescott, 36 TDs and things like that. And then she was going on and talking about some of the real bums out there that you have to look and talk about possibly being a bust, like Trevor Lawrence. You know, it's funny that nobody talks about Trevor Lawrence sucking down $35 million a year. $55 million a year. and literally stinking up the joint. Nobody talks about Justin Herbert, who has been atrocious in playoffs too, literally getting 5 interceptions in the first quarter, 5, having a 27-0 lead and losing the game 31-30 to another stiff in Trevor Lawrence. You got it? Okay. I'm just checking. Now, I'm trying to figure out Joe DeMasi in the house. What's up, Joe? Vinny Hagan, Jeremiah Hamilton. How you doing? Dan, 1965. Should Joy be going to OnlyFans? Oh, man. Oh, come on, man. Oh, man. Come on, man. Woke Yusuf. Good evening to you and Jobu Sports Report family. Appreciate you. Vince P, shout out to you, buddy. That's wrong. That's wrong. Wow. No. That's just wrong, man. That's just that. It could work. It'd probably do better than her YouTube channel did. So that brings up an interesting question for Joy. Where does Joy go for Glimmerman? Skip is doing YouTube. He gets, Skip is still trying to do Skip Bayless things where he's throwing his hater stuff. Are we actually seeing a period where they always say the pendulum swings too far one way or not. Okay? All of these shows you can pinpoint to one show. And that was PTI. When PTI happened, Tony Kornheiser and Michael Wilbon, 2 friends that were just having discussions and debating the topics, it was gold. I got to go on the studio set and around the horn. What's amazing is, I'm going to tell you, this was amazing. The red brick house upstairs here, this is 30 by 17. That's the size of the space. Literally, the studio for PTI was on one side of a space about this big, and on the other side was the studio set for Around the Horn. Tiny. They were tiny. And I got to meet Tony Kornheiser and Mike Wilbon. This was like with Joe Boo. This was like 2014 maybe. But that show was groundbreaking, and it was great. And, of course, then First Take, and then everybody copied it. And because it started growing, the debates just kept going from having a normal conversation about legitimate talk and perspective of guys who actually knew what they're doing to becoming just hate the Cowboys, Dak Prescott sucks, and being singularly focused and trying to shout out each other to the point where it's just unwatchable. Stop hating on Dak. He's a Super Bowl. Okay, Todd. Maybe the pendulum has swung too far where those shows literally just took over and ESPN and things lost what people actually tuned in for. I want to see the highlights. I want to make my own decision and my own judgment. I actually want to hear somebody talk about the sports that actually knows what they're talking about to explain it to me. Son of John, hit the like button. You're right, Holly. So, yeah, I can say FX1 is now wiping the slate clean. I don't know what's going to come around. I mean, they tried to get rid, Skip Bayless and Shannon. They replaced it with the facility, and the facility failed. So I don't know what they're going to try and replace it with. It's going to be interesting. If it ends up being that they just give Shady McCoy 2 hours, because he did just say, I got something big coming. Okay. I heard Debo's big ass tried a cross-dressing when he put on high heels. You know what? It could look like a Brazilian butt lift. The media has made a living out of building the Cowboys up and then dumping them later in the year or when they drop. Glimmer, man, you hit the nail on the head. The end of the season, the Cowboys suck. That Jerry Jones and crew is the worst GM run organization, that the inmates are running the asylum. Then they go through they don't do anything in free agency. The draft, they didn't do anything to help themselves in the draft. And, they suck. But then by the time the end of training camp goes, you watch. They're going to say the Cowboys, they're Super Bowl contenders. You watch. I can guarantee that happens. So, in other news, surprisingly, on the same day that Shady McCoy got the axe, that James Jones got the axe, that Joy Taylor, who was trying to sleep her way to the top and taking notes, got fired, that Shady McCoy got canned. Oh, shit! Dak Prescott, I was surprised, was actually in the top 100, even though his season was ass, and he didn't play the whole season. Now, let's revisit 24, where he was 16th.
It's funny that, Here We Go has become such a popularized thing this year because it's always been our cadence. We always say, here we go.
Yeah! Here we go!
Like, I just keep hearing it. Here we go.
Here we go! Here we go!
Here we go.
Here we go!
Here we go! We got hoodies made. The whole team got hoodies that says, here we go.
The fans, like, when we come to the games now, they're like, here we go. The nation has really fell in love with that.
I wonder what it's going to be this year.
In 2023, Here We Go went viral, but not everyone became a Dak Prescott fan.
You don't pay attention to social media, but it's just unfortunate the amount of people that, had to say what they say because they don't know the sacrifices he's made. They don't know the work that he's put in.
Together, focus and intensity. Keep working together, man. Together.
Great leader. When we're in those games where there's adversity, always holding everybody up.
That's what it's about, man. Gotta love it. Love who you do it with. Love these moments. It pays off.
Once you see him go out there and he's executing and firing and everything's clicking, it's like, oh, that's why he practices, how he practices.
Let's go! Kidding me? You kidding me?
Last year,
That's
Prescott's Here We Go made some noise, but his loudest statement came with his play.
What a throw and catch from Prescott to Cooks.
He threw for over 4,500 yards and led the league with 36 touchdown passes.
When I think of Dak, especially this past year, it's the ability to, when back's against the wall and he can kind of create something for himself.
Are you serious? He just lobbed it up. Play action. Prescott could not get away. Yes, he did. He shook off a sack. Rolling to the right. Throws it downfield, and he's got Jalen Tolbert.
Dak is so strong in the lower body that he fought off that sack,
this shit was
escaped. At that point, you just hope to get rid of the ball and not take a safety. And instead, they go for the touchdown. Wow.
If he gets out the pocket, just always have to be on 10 toes with him.
Prescott can't find anyone. Retreats. Point says go right there. Caught.
Okay, we're getting.
And when Prescott had to stay in the pocket,
we're getting copyrighted.
he was pretty impressive
but I don't
there
care.
too.
If it shuts down, it shuts down. I got to show
a clear-cut picture of what playing high-level NFL quarterback looks like. You know you're going to get crushed, and he's able to put this ball on a spot. You can't play quarterback any better than that.
He didn't just take the hits, he also dished them out.
Big body. I'm a big body. I do that. I'm a big body.
I'm a big body.
Watching Dak go crazy was a lot of fun, especially because, the hate that he gets, a lot of unnecessary hate in my opinion, too. The dude is cold.
That's all y'all, man. That's how you fight.
And if you talk about somebody that's going to give you everything that he has, that's a guy.
Hey, keep doing this, man. Our expectation, our standard. Every week. We'll do this again next week, man. 1 on 3. 1, 2, 3, 1.
That gives me chills, man.
Timothy 11.
That gives me chills. Now, I know I'm going to get copywritten on this because I'm showing highlights, but I don't care. Listen, if they well, as long as they don't copyright me and okay, let's hope they don't do that. Copyright me and lock my stuff. Ultra Cowboy hates Dak. Yeah, he does. MJS, so now you like Dak? I remember distinctly you saying you were done with him. You can say what? MJS, who the hell are you? I'm done. I said I was done with Dak? Okay. Put down the crack pipe, dude. Put down. Never ever have I said those words. You are lying over there, buddy. You're lying on the other channel. Okay? Definitely not me. North of the border, how you doing today? Should I bring the Pinksmobile truck to training? Yeah, you can bring it to training camp. Yeah, no problem. Go ahead. Take it. Just keep it away from me. So that was 2024. And he was at 16. Now, I'm going to wait a second before I play the other clip because if I'm going to get copywritten. But it's funny, I used the clip earlier today, and I didn't get copywritten. No more excuses. Hold on, Dustin. Sorry, Dustin, you're not getting away with that one. So we get one receiver, and there's no excuses for Dak. Is that how is it that there's no? You literally are looking at question marks at a running game. Some people have ranked the Cowboys' running game as the worst in the NFL, and you're saying, "Oh, there's no excuses." There's no excuses. You don't know if your offensive tackles are even starters. Do you look and say, "Oh, Tyler Guyton, he's like Lane Johnson"? No. Terrence Steele, do you look at him and say, "Hey, he's a stud"? No. You got a rookie starting for Zach Martin. And you see this. Are you trying to take up the air that has now been opened up because Acho and crew got that? You're the new hater. You're taking up for FX1. Stop being a fucking idiot. Okay. You literally have a new coach, all new coaches, a running game that's suspect, an offensive line that's in flux, and a defense that nobody knows what it's going to do. The Cowboys were 27th on defense last year, bro. 27th. And so you're saying if he doesn't make a Super Bowl by him damn self, then he's got no excuses? Get the F out of here, man. Don't be a freaking idiot. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. How about Josh Allen? They kept saying, well, he had no excuses, did he? Did he? Trevor Lawrence. Does he got any excuses? Justin Herbert. You say all these guys are great quarterbacks, but I don't see them busting a grape. This bullshit's got to end. I'm sick. I am so sick and tired of freaking idiots out here. He got no excuses. Come on, man. Come on, man. Let's be for real. Yeah, y'all, I was in such a good mood this evening. Yeah, sometimes some of y'all are just stupid. Josh Allen got married. Yes, he did. I'm just saying he better show up and not be a deer in the headlights. Bro, you know what? Anybody who sits here and says he doesn't show up, that he is a deer caught in a headlight, must not watch any other quarterback in the NFL. You must not. The shit that Dak Prescott, he started out the year bad last year. Well, bro, Jerry freaking Jones decided, you know what? We don't need to sign CeeDee Lamb and have him in training camp. We'll just do that shit after camp. So that way he won't be in shape and we're going to have to limit how much work he can do. That him and his quarterback won't be on the same page because he wasn't there because for no good reason. It's not like they saved any money. Maybe they made some more because of the publicity, but you didn't have that guy in camp working with them. Oh, his number 2 wide receiver had a freaking infection in his knee. How do I know that? Because I was there in training camp and seeing him not practice. So you know who he was working with in training camp? Wide receivers? Jalen Tolbert, Jalen Brooks, Dennis Houston? I can't even remember some of the stiffs that we had out there. And then we go out here and we say, hey, let's bring back Zeke. And Zeke's dad, no disrespect, but I was 100% right that Zeke Elliott didn't have it. I didn't mean to piss you off in that live stream. I didn't know you were Zeke's dad, but I'm sitting there saying we got to stop hiring all these over-the-hill guys on this roster. You had Zeke Elliott for 183 yards. You had Dalvin Cook for 23. Enrico, okay, yeah, he found, but he wasn't getting too much after contact. But of course, Dak sucked. And then you had Tyler Guyton, who anytime anybody crossed his face, he either got a penalty or gave up a sack. Zach Martin was a shell of himself. But nobody remembers any of that shit. Nobody, none of these talking jackasses that just got fired will go ahead and say, hey, you know, he's kind of got a bad situation there. Did anybody, let me ask you this. Did anybody go through and talk about Justin Herbert, how great a regular season he had until he got to the playoffs and he sucked? I don't recall people going back through there and saying he's a choker in the playoffs, even though Dak did have 3 TDs and 304 yards against Aaron frickin' Rodgers and took the go-ahead touchdown with 44 seconds left to go, but our defense couldn't hold him. Nobody talks about the 5 TDs going against Tom Brady. Nobody talks about the win against Seattle and Russell Wilson when Russell Wilson was cooking. They just tell you, ignore anything positive about the guy and just say he's got no excuses. No excuses. If he was on the field, he got traded to the Philadelphia Eagles and was on that team, I'd say, yeah, he's got no excuses because he's got the best offensive line in football. He's got the best running back in football, and he's got a defense. He's got a top 5 wide receiving crew. What does that fool not have? That's a guy that has no excuses. When you got a shaky offensive line and no running game and your wide receivers can't get separation, come on, man. Jeez, oh, flip. You know, when he's gone, you're going to look back and say, damn, I miss that guy. Because I remember those lean years after after Troy Aikman, where they tried guys like Ryan Leaf and Clint Stoner, right? I mean, we went through quarterback of the week, a brand new flavor in your ear, over and over again. We were like the Cleveland Browns light. Fortunately, we fell into Tony Romo. And after Tony Romo, we were fortunate enough to roll into Dak Prescott. That shit don't happen. And with that being said, Randy McIntyre, a.k.a. the Manster, Sugar Daddy Williams, please don't take me back to the Quincy. Joe, I didn't want to mention Quincy Carter, but you know, some fools out there actually say, well, Quincy Carter was a better quarterback than Dak Prescott. And it's just like, it's just, I have to go to my happy place when I hear stupid comments like that. Let me go to my happy place. Okay, I'm back. I've been to my happy place. You sissies crying about Philly way too much. Oh, have you guys gotten the garbage strike taken care of yet? Or does the place still smell like trash? Oh, I'm sorry. It smelled like trash before the garbage strike. Clean the damn place up, man. The place is filthy. Okay. Let's go to what transpired today. James Snyder. Shout out to James. 42 months. My house got... Oh, shit. James. I'm sorry to hear that, man. Did it get unflooded? Are you working on remediating all that? Man, I'm sorry to hear about that, man. It's over. Okay, here we go.
Dak Prescott's day is done. The Cowboys say the quarterback has a hamstring injury and will not return. Saw him just staring into space. Overall, an unhappy day all the way around.
You can't fault him for getting hurt. It's not his fault that he had an injury, but he was doing really well, and he's proven in the past that he's a really good quarterback. So, but yeah, I would list him in the top 100.
Obviously, I was drafted to the Eagles this past year, so can't be too fond of him or like him too much.
Why do they have to have an Eagle player?
Part of the game. He did have a shortened season.
Why do they have a weak Eagles backup?
Wasn't able to put everything out there on the field and showcase why he's a top 100 player. But everything that I've heard is he is one of the best human beings that you can be around.
Just being under pressure 24/7. Be able to control that. Great leader out there, a leader amongst men.
Pace and operation, the rest take care of itself. Be us, fast, physical, all day.
Yes, Dak Prescott's 2024 season came to a disappointing end after just 8 games. But his start was praiseworthy.
Prescott with a deep fade, right side for Lamb. Oh, he caught it!
What a throw. That's tight coverage on Ward. As Dan Marino used to say, you can't guard a perfect throw.
Look, do you see, even with CD, look at these guys
Prescott's face.
all over them.
Touchdown!
High IQ football here. You got Dak Prescott here at the line of scrimmage. He sees the all-out blitz from Schwartz's defense, and he changes the play. They're bringing all 6. They can only block 5 of them. Dak knows it and lays it up there to Brandon Cooks. Defender has no help to the pylon. Great throw and catch.
So obviously the guys in the locker room love him. You see now he continues to get better and better.
Before getting injured, Prescott was on pace for yet another 4,000-yard passing season and showed he could still make the big throw when it mattered most.
At 12:52 in the morning, it's 4th and goal and the game's on the line. Prescott throws,
And you see a guy draped all over his ass. No separation whatsoever.
What a throw, and Elliott got a hand up there.
Nice catch by Tolman.
Yeah, I think his ability to toss the football around and really just the fear that he puts in defensive coordinators.
Prescott has to avoid pressure, runs into his blocker, runs at the 10, flips at the end zone, and Dowdle hung on. Just Dak's ability to buy time, 5-man rush. Pretty much the entire defensive line of the Falcons wins, and Dak just keeps it alive.
He's an elite athlete, one of the best to do it. That's why he has a job.
There you go. Shout out to NFL Network. All right, so Son of John, shout out to you, Son of John. You need to remember that under Mike McCarthy regime, we had a weak O-line, a weak pass rush defense. We couldn't stop the run, y'all. If McCarthy kept his promise of making the offensive balance, think. But you have to have ownership that goes along with you. He can want all kinds of things, but you actually really have to look at it and say, the Joneses didn't do much to really help this team. To be quite honest, if you really look at this, when you look at, say, what Buffalo does or what the Ravens do or what the Eagles do with trying to get more and stockpile more talent on their team, ask yourself, what did the Dallas Cowboys do for the 5 years of Mike McCarthy being here to try and stockpile talent? The biggest moves they made was the trade of 5th-round picks to get Stephon Gilmore for a year and Brandon Cooks. Now, Brandon Cooks, by the time he got here, was one of those name players that I like to call name players. And by that, you know that he's done stuff in places where you say, oh, my God, yeah, Brandon Cook, he's a 1,000-yard receiver everywhere he goes. Yeah, but he's also now in his 30s. And he's not that guy. It's kind of like when you hear Deebo Samuels. You think about when you hear Deebo, let's be real here. When you first heard that Deebo Samuels was traded to Washington, you say, oh my God, not Deebo. Because you're flashing back to what he was 3 years ago, 1,400 yards, 6 TDs, and running football. Dak Prescott is a Temu version of Warren Moon. Actually, Bobby Beninsky, appreciate the super chat, bro. I appreciate you. You know I love you. I got nothing but love for you. But Warren Moon, as great as he was really atrocious in the playoffs. He was a lot worse than Dak Prescott. Believe it or not. Hate to say it. Love Warren Moon. Met Warren Moon. He is truly a Hall of Famer, but did not have playoff success. But keep the super chats rolling. But now you got me losing what I was talking about. Oh, okay. Think about this for a second. Oh, Deebo. Yeah, Deebo. That's right. I was talking about Deebo. Thank you, Jeremiah. Deebo, in that season in 21, with 1,400 yards receiving and about 280 yards running the football, was the ultimate weapon. But then the next year he had like 680. The next year he had like 800 and some change. And then last year, when they really and truly needed him because they lost Ayuk, they lost Christian McCaffrey, and you got to think that, hey, Deebo, you got to fire this thing up. He was only 600 and some odd yards, and they kept wanting to dump him. And he showed up fat. So if you believe that he's going to go back to Deebo of 2021, I don't think so. I don't. But he's a name that when you first hear it, it scares you. So the Cowboys, when you start looking at the players they signed, Eric Kendricks actually played pretty well for us. But Eric Kendricks can't find a job right now. Typically, guys we sign, it's their last rodeo. They're not going anywhere after they leave here. They're on the tail end getting their last check. And when you start looking at some of the wide receivers we have, when they leave here, most of them aren't getting a job because they weren't good to begin with. And when they were here, they end up having kind of career years. Cedric Wilson in Philly 500's little mind, he's got like the alligator brain, little teeny brain. Little alligator brain is what he's got. He's like, well, Dak Prescott had Cedric Wilson. Well, Cedric Wilson's best season that he had was 600 and some odd yards when he was behind CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper as a number 3 wide receiver with Dak Prescott throwing to him. He ain't got 400 yards in the 3 years since then. He can't get on the field. When you think about guys like Allen Hurns, Lucky Whitehead, these are guys that when they leave the Cowboys, they aren't great. Now, you can say Noah Brown has been meh. Okay. He was okay with the Texans and he was okay with Washington. They're counting on him this year, but he's got some kind of kidney ailment. Cole Beasley was the GOAT. Come on, Mark. Again, his best years were actually with Dak Prescott. Here's a funny one for you. Think about this for a second. For those out there that say Dak sucks, Dez Bryant's highest yards per completion of his career, 14.9 yards per reception, was with Dak Prescott. The highest he ever was with Tony Romo was 14. You had, Randall Cobb. Randall Cobb was on the Deebo train, like 2014. Guy was incredible. Your best chances to tank for Manning and rebuild. Bobby, I hate to tell you, we won 7 games with Cooper Rush starting last year and a massed injury team. I don't know how we get there. I I'll be real with you. I don't know how, if we couldn't bottom out last year with no running game, couldn't stop the run, Dak Prescott's injured, wide receivers couldn't get separation and still win 7 games. How do we get to the number 1 spot there, bro? I don't even think it's possible. But Randall Cobb, the last year he was with Aaron Rodgers, they basically said, we got to get rid of this guy because he was only 400 yards. Comes to the Cowboys, Dak Prescott throwing to him, 850 yards. Gets a $25 million contract to go to the Texans because he showed up. And he goes back down to 400 yards. Goes back with Aaron Rodgers and goes back to 400 yards. So was Dak the sorry-ass quarterback that everybody claims? Or did he elevate that guy's play to get him paid an extra $25 million? Yeah, Greg, because they're trying to entice people. They're over and under. Greg, I'm definitely going to take the over. I don't know how they win 7 games last year and you get Dak Prescott back and you look at that and say, oh, they're only going to win a half game more. Okay. Byron B., off topic. Remember to pray and stay grateful. That, Brian, no truer words have been spoken, bro. That's me. I'm trying to fit in everything I can every single day because I don't know that I'll be here tomorrow the way the world is these days. So I want to make sure that I leave everything right tonight. So, amen. Pray and take care of yourself. Jalen Hurts, a Super Bowl champion, move on. Dak is a choker. Dak has been awful in 2 of the last 3 years. Man, trading for George Pickens will just take a lot of pressure off of CeeDee Lamb. You ain't lying on that one. Low-key, Gallup injury took wins out of y'all's sail. No joke. Michael Gallup, and that's the nature of football. His second year, you thought that guy was going to be, perennial great player, going to be a Pro Bowl player. He had 1,100 yards. And he just went downhill from there. It was 800 yards the next year, and then it was down in the 400 range the last 2 years, and just never really recovered. Okay. GTI 215. GTI 215. Let me ask you this. So, this is a real question. Do you think Jalen Hurts would have been better than 3-5 with a running game that was averaging less than 70 yards a game, wide receivers that had the worst separation in football, a rookie left tackle who led the league in penalties even though he only played in like 11 games, could not stop anybody going in the inside, and was so bad in some of the games the team kind of said, we really just don't want him to play. That your all-pro guard was literally getting left at the starting blocks when guys were sacking the quarterback. And your defense on 2 games against Baltimore and against New Orleans could not force a punt. So that's all on the quarterback. I mean, I get it. You're a Dak Prescott hater. You're a Cowboys hater and all that. But honestly, who is going to win when your wide receivers have the worst separation in football, and you have no running game, and you're running for your life because your offensive line is shit? Your number 1 wide receiver wasn't in training camp. Your number 2 wide receiver is injured with a knee infection. Or did y'all just forget about all those things? If everybody was playing great, the offensive line, was giving him all day. It literally, he could sit back there and he could eat a ham sandwich, right? Because the offensive line was stopping everybody there. That, he was handing off the ball and we were rushing, 150 yards a game. And we were 3-5. Then I'd say, okay, yeah, you're right. I'd say you're right. Your defense couldn't stop shit. Your offense couldn't block shit. Your wide receivers couldn't get open. And the only thing you focus on, oh, well, Dak sucked. So if your wide receivers can't get open and catch the football, what's Dak supposed to do? He's supposed to throw it to himself? Okay, here we go. Oh, ain't nobody open. Here, I'll throw it to me and I'll run it. Come on, man. Pamela Savage, what's up?
Oh, yes, it's ladies' night. Oh, what a night. Oh, what a night.
Right. People, and this is along the line of, well, Dak's got no excuses this year. The only thing you did was you gave him a number 2 wide receiver, a really good one, but there's still a whole lot of issues that are here. You know, we're taking it. Here's the Eagles had Miles Sanders 3 years ago and said, he's not good enough. It's not good enough. We can do better. And even though they had DeAndre Swift, who played better than Miles Sanders, they said, you know what? That's not good enough either. We can do better. What do? Oh, we're going to bring back Zeke because he's a fan favorite. Jimbo, I'm sorry, you don't know math, do you? It's a 53-man roster. Just putting A.J. Brown as well as Barkley on there drops you below 95%. Right there. I mean, come on, bro. You've got more. Those guys weren't homegrown. Don't act like you guys don't go into free agency and bring people in left and right. We don't bring in anybody. Now, you brought in a bunch of guys last year. White, linebacker, didn't. Huff didn't work out. But you bring in a lot of free agents. You are wise because you will go through and, you'll bring in guys. If they don't work out, we're not going to cry over it and go. Cowboys ended up getting Brandon Carr in 2013 or 2012 and didn't play up to what they expected. And then there's just like, oh, we're not going to go out and get any big free agents. Bro, you went out and got Saquon. Bro, you went out and got A.J. Brown. Don't tell me that everything's homegrown. It's not. Nobody wants to play with Dak. Oh, we got the fake Philly 500. All right, in other news today, here's an interesting thing for you. See, this was actually eye-opening, but I realized it. The Cowboys have drafted in the first round over the last 15 years 10 All-Pros. Now, I will say some of that All-Pros is because they are Dallas Cowboys. Let's be clear here. The Cowboys are on TV more than anybody else. They're talked about 24/7. So you're exposed to them a lot more than, say, somebody who's on the Jets or Jacksonville. I'm not saying that they weren't deserving of being all pros, but you have to look at it and say you are beneficiaries of being a Dallas Cowboys and getting exposure. However, here's the problem. This is true. The Cowboys have drafted in the first round better than any other team in the NFL. That is a fact. But the second round, damn. Our second round sucks. We got 2 All-Pros out of it. We got D-Law and we got Diggs. Pretty much everybody else that we have drafted in the second round has not been good. When you think about Tristan Hill, Boss Man Fat, Schoonmaker, Jalen Smith, we have been the exact opposite in the second round. And so one way you look at this and say is, yeah, you're great in the first round, but the second round, you're not getting winners. Your second round pick should be, at worst, a very good starter. We ain't getting that. Not unless Donovan EZ does it and maybe Sam Williams turns it around. Right now, Schoonmaker is looking like he might not see the field much. How many years did Jerry Jones gamble on the second round pick? It seems. See, here's the problem with the Cowboys. The Cowboys have done their work on the first round. They are great at valuing the first round talents. What they are is they're kind of like, okay, out of necessity, I'm broke ass media. Okay, I have to find a way to save money because I don't have big piles of money to waste, okay? The Joneses, they look at it and they say, we want first-round talent in the second round, and we'll gamble to try and get it. We'll take a flyer on a guy who's injured, right? We'll get a guy who's injured, or a guy like, oh, I forgot Randy Gregory. Randy Gregory. Well, he smoked weed before his combine test and failed that. But, you know, he's graded out in the first round. So, you know, we can take a chance on that. You know, we'll get him here and he'll stop smoking weed. They're like that woman that says, well, girl, I can change him. No, you can't. He's a dog. He's going to cheat on you. Okay. He ain't changing. He'll be nice when you first, you know, meet him and everything else. But that dog's going to come out. Or they'll go through and they'll say, you know, well, Jalen Smith, yeah, the doctors say he could recover and be great. Blew up in their face. Boss Man Fat, he had character issues there. Tristan Hill couldn't get along with his coaches. All guys that were talented but fell to the second round because other teams said, it's not worth the risk. So great in the first round. Tons of all pros and everything. Second round, sucking ass. Don't get me started on Randy Gregory. He wasted himself. That's the saddest part about there is when you get guys that have God-given talent that if they put in the work, that could make themselves a Hall of Famer, but don't want to work. David Irving's another one who had so much talent and wasted it. Rolando Blackman. Y'all remember the linebacker we got from the Raiders? That guy was an incredible thumper who didn't want to practice. He only wanted to show up and play in the games. That's another one of those guys that had he applied himself and really wanted to, would have been great. But unfortunately, you can't make these guys necessarily want to be great. Why do players continue wanting to be here if we're so bad? I don't understand it, Kid Cowboy. Kid Cowboy, you're 100% right. Yeah. George Pickens sure seems like he's happy to be here. Sugar Daddy Williams, it's scripted. I challenge y'all to, well, you know what, Glimmer Man, I'm going to actually dispute. Here's what I'm going to say is Randy Gregory probably smoked less weed than the average NFL player. Because Chris Long pointed it out after his career was over. He said, listen, we know when we're going to be tested if you haven't failed to test. So that month before that test, you take over-the-counter medication. You know, drink some alcohol and stuff for your pains. And after you take the test, you're good for a year. In which case, you can smoke as much as you want to smoke. But Randy Gregory was tested on a weekly basis, every single week. So even though he may have failed, 2 or 3 tests in a year, other guys could be smoking every week and they're not getting tested for it. But it was because he got into protocol. Kid Cowboy, I think he realizes that that it gets the possibility of being in the spotlight. Yeah. Well, Randy, I'm going to counter that one, Randy, because if you're not smoking weed, you're doing opioids. Your body physically cannot survive what they do on the football field. I remember my buddy Calais Campbell, who is 6'8" and 320 pounds. If he just fell on you, most of us would have broken bones. When you think about the collisions these guys take, like let's say Cooper Beebe being a center, and let's say he's going against Jalen Carter, and that ball snapped, and it's helmet to helmet. Do you know the impact of that over and over again? It destroys the body. And, when you think about Toradol, I'll be real with you. I'm not a weed smoker because it smells like skunks to me. I just don't like the smell. When you think about Toradol, which destroys your liver, can make your brain bleed, but basically takes away any pain, so you can't even feel that your shoulder has been ripped off of the bone. And these guys are getting injections after warming up of Toradol and other drugs, or when you see them jogging off the sideline and going to the locker room, probably going to get shot up. Or they're taking the tablets of this stuff that is eating their brains, messing up their livers, and so on. And they're literally out there getting their brains scrambled. Unfortunately, it's taking years off of those guys' lives. It's taking the quality of life. Most players after football, their bodies are screwed up. So when you say, well, they like to smoke weed more than playing football, it might be some of them look at it and say, I'd rather smoke weed than take all these opioids. Just a thought. But we have had an incredible time. Just remember, Shady McCoy, Joy Taylor, Acho. Not that I'm, happy that somebody lost their job, but I'm happy that those guys aren't going to be on TV anymore, or at least not as we know it. Respect your hustle and opinions. 52 days to can't wait to get it started. Also, 7 years clean from opioids. It's no joke. All love. Go Birds. Ronald, appreciate that, man. Yeah, but opioids, I'm telling you, opioids, getting off of some of those, and I know some people that have that are dealing with chronic pain and things, and they've been over medicated with it, and getting off of it, it's just like any other hard drug. Vince P, appreciate that. Great show. And let's see, who was our winner? Dirty Sanchez is second. Son of John, we have a new winner? Wait a minute. My name is Jeff. My name is Jeff. How did Jeff not win? Son of John with 825 points on this channel, and Kid Cowboy number 66 on the other channel is a winner chicken dinner. Email me, guys, your name, your address, and your shirt size, so that way Miss Tracy, if you go to cowboyjobu.com, you can look at the shirts and stuff that she has. Or if you'd like her to do like a comic rendition of your face or something or other, email me, because you guys are our winners tonight. Kid Cowboy 66, Son of John. Email me, cowboysmark94@gmail. I appreciate all of the comments, all the support, and everything that you guys do, as well as everybody in here. It was a ball being in here, cussing out some people that are sitting there saying Dak got no excuses and everything else, and Dak is Mark, a Jobu History Channel should happen. A Jobu History Channel. Well, it's kind of like the Red Brick House because we're talking about the history of this place. It's kind of cool. But people, a week from today, we will have the opening press conference in the books, and we'll be waiting for the first practice. Not the games, not the games. We'll be talking about practice a week from tomorrow. As always, good people, I appreciate y'all, and we'll keep bringing it to you. We're going to start ramping it up. I've been busting tail. And, for those who out there who care, because I do have some people that have been emailing me or text messaging me and saying, we worry about your health and you working so hard. My blood pressure is down, my weight is down, and the place looks great. So I'm going to keep on doing it. Game Time said Micah will be signed next Monday. Oh, I didn't know he worked for the Cowboys. Okay, that's great news. I hope that happens. All right, good people, it's time to turn out the lights. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here.
The party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night. The party's over. And tomorrow and next year starts the same old thing.